Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hi, welcome to the Chanell Love 22 podcast, where we are going to be discussing today the trending rise of self-diagnosis as it relates to ADHD and how the symptoms may overlap with anxiety and depression. So, of course, there's been trends about people having symptoms of ADHD and a little self-diagnosing, of course, going on there. I just wanted to discuss on this so that we can discuss the difference in the symptoms and how they can, well, similarities in the symptoms and how they can overlap, because that can be confusing. And I just want you guys to understand that seeking professional help is the best way to determine what you have going on. So today, let's first dive into what ADHD is. So ADHD affects your focus. You can be impulsive. You can have disorganization, inattentiveness, hyperactivity, and we said impulsivity. This can, of course, affect your daily life as far as you just managing your life at home, cleaning, getting things done around the house, but also at work, not being able to complete your projects, having difficulty focusing if you have multiple projects going on, having difficulty focusing on the one that you're working on. Also in school, having difficulty focusing on your schoolwork. Some people are in college and find it difficult to be able to focus and get through the class because they are having this inattentiveness. And a lot of times we think that we have ADHD or the symptoms of ADHD because of the things that we've seen on social media. So I wanted to also discuss what anxiety is like. So anxiety, people have excessive worrying, nervousness, or they have a fear in that interferes with their ability to sleep or to focus, and also can show up sometimes physically. And physically, I'm saying like heart racing, difficulty breathing, um, some of the main symptoms. Some people have excessive sweating, restlessness, racing thoughts. All of those can all be tied into anxiety. So, of course, that'll affect you at work or at home, just in life in general. Depression is, of course, can affect your daily life as well, but also can be similar to some of the symptoms that you experience with ADHD. That's why people are confused sometimes, because they all have similarities in the symptoms, and someone with ADHD may be telling a friend or even be on social media discussing their ADHD, and you're thinking, oh, that sounds just like me. So depression is a persistent sadness, low energy. You have lack of motivation, difficulty concentrating. And of course, this takes an emotional and physical toll on you. There's some people who aren't unable to go about their day or unable to get out of bed, and depression can cause you to not be able to function, to even go to work. So it can be something serious. Of course, we want to seek professional help for that as well. So some of the symptoms overlap. Let's discuss a little bit where some of the symptoms overlap. Difficulty focusing. That's something that can happen in ADHD, anxiety, and depression. So in ADHD, the difficulty in focusing is more caused by brain, like your brain function differences. And in anxiety, it's probably caused more by excessive worrying and, thoughts taking up space in your mind. Depression, it will be more related to like the brain fog, lack of motivation, but all of those things can cause difficulty focusing. Restlessness and impulsivity. In ADHD, of course, you have impulsive decision making, difficulty staying still, difficulty completing tasks, and anxiety. You're restless due to your stress or your worry. So, of course, it may seem like some of the same things that someone with ADHD is experiencing. And then emotional dysregulation and ADHD, of course, you can have um, mood swings due to executive dysfunction, in your brain. Not, and with anxiety and depression, you can just have the emotional distress tied to being stressed out or hopeless with depression. So sometimes you're thinking that you have ADHD. Now, even though you weren't diagnosed as having ADHD as a child, some people do develop ADHD in adulthood. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but a lot of the times people are experiencing anxiety and depression and not realizing that this this is the symptoms that I'm experiencing are related to anxiety and depression. They're thinking more ADHD because that's what they're seeing right across platforms on social media. So some of the platforms, of course, we see these things across the most common ones. The risks of like receiving misinformation or being undiagnosed can have some. There are some people who are seeking medication that's not prescribed to them. So they're taking medication because they think that, oh, I have ADHD. So they're taking medication for ADHD, and it can sometimes cause your anxiety to be worse. So be careful with taking medications that aren't, well, you're not supposed to take any medications that's not prescribed to you, but also be careful with taking medication just to try because you want to see if it helps your symptoms, because that might not be the root cause of what's causing your symptoms. So taking something for ADHD and you have anxiety, one of the side effects of that medication is increased anxiety. So I have a lot of people that I see and they come in like, I'm on this ADHD medicine, I'm having these symptoms, and I just don't feel better still. It's something, maybe I need to increase, maybe this. And, they've been on the medicine for a while. And then once we try something else to kind of target more of their anxiety or target more of their depression, they're like, oh, maybe I think you might have been right, because I feel better on this medication and less anxious than I felt when I was taking the medication for ADHD. So seeking help from a medical professional, a licensed medical professional, will help you overcome the challenges that you're experiencing faster than trying to self-diagnose. I just think that this is an important topic to touch on because everyone, of course, we jump on trends and just do what we see on social media, and that's not always the best thing to do. So therapy, lifestyle changes, medications if necessary. These are some of the things that you will get, or some recommendations that can be made to you by a licensed healthcare professional. Um, Also, I want everybody to just be self-aware of the importance of the symptoms that you're experiencing, and just keep a diary, kind of like keep a diary of the symptoms you're having and when you're having them, and anything that you're doing during the time that you're experiencing them, because that can kind of help when you have your appointment or you reach out to a professional for an evaluation. Of course, you'll have that information right there in that diary, and it makes it a little easier with the health professional helping you come up with the right diagnosis and the right treatment plan for you. Keeping social media content to a minimum, of course. Everyone needs to do like a little social detox, or take some time off from social media, take a pause, take a break from it, limit your time on social media on a daily basis. I think most phones will allow you to set a limit, or either, some type of timer to let yourself know that, okay, I spent enough time on social media today, because that can heighten your symptoms of anxiety for sure. Depression, yes, all of them. So keep that in mind and try to come up with a plan to decrease your time that you're spending on social media. Everyone, that you can use that as part of your self-care routine. Remember, self-care doesn't have to be something that you are spending a lot of money on, that you are thinking that you have to have a luxurious something for, that can be a part of your self-care, staying away from social media sometimes, relaxing, taking a walk outside, relaxing in a quiet space at home, meditation. Some people even like stretching and yoga. That helps you to relax too. But just finding time to quiet your mind. I know that a lot of people, I hear a lot of clients before they are going to bed, that's what they do to help themselves unwind at the end of the day. They're on their phone scrolling, looking through social media posts. Of course, the blue light that's on the phone and that's on the TV, I always tell people to practice good sleep hygiene, because we don't realize that those lights disrupt our sleep cycle and also disrupt the melatonin production in your body, because you're thinking, well, your brain is thinking that it's time to be up because the blue light from your screen or from your TV, and you're not going through the full process of developing the proper hormone melatonin that you need to help induce your sleep. So try to create a nice quiet environment, a nice low light. I recommend there's a salt rock lamp that I use personally, but the little soft lights, not the blue LED lights. So if you have a night light or something, the soft light is better if you need a night light or something like that in your room. Let's see. I think that, can't forget my proverb. So everything that glitters ain't gold, meaning, of course, we see all these things on social media. We see people with these same symptoms that we're having, that we're experiencing, and we're thinking okay, well, that sounds exactly like what I'm going through. That sounds like what I'm dealing with. And it may be, you may have those same symptoms, but the root cause of what's causing your symptoms is different from someone else's. So mentioning root cause, I do offer a root cause blood work analysis. I'll put the link in the description of this video. And that sometimes too can be contributing to your symptoms, which means, so through the root cause blood work analysis, we're able to see if you have any inflammation, if you have any, parasites, if you have a buildup of toxins, you may have a hormonal imbalance, a nutritional imbalance. All these things may be relating to some of your symptoms, such as brain fog, anxiety, depression, and the ADHD symptoms that you're experiencing as well. So that is another option to seek professional help for as well. So I'll add that link. That is it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I wish you all happiness. And Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Disclaimer. The information shared on the Chanell Love 22 podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not medical advice. Neither the host, guest, nor the podcast assumes responsibility for any actions taken based on this content. Listeners are strongly encouraged to consult a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to their health, including medications, supplements, or treatments. This podcast is intended to comply with applicable regulations. However, it is not a substitute for legal or medical advice specific to your location. Listeners outside of the United States should ensure they follow healthcare guidance and regulations relevant to their regions. Thank you for listening, and remember, health is wealth.